So today we're going to take a look at what's going to happen if the Frankish Empire reunites in the modern day. Now the Frankish Empire was a post-Roman empire which came into existence after the fall of the Western Roman Empire. And this was the Frankish Empire at its peak, not when they started. So yeah. But yeah, let's see what happens if they reunite in the modern day. Let's see who they declare war on, how they expand, and all those other stuff. But before we get into this video, I want to talk about my new YouTube channel, where from now on I'll be uploading more Age of History 2 as well as territorial.io videos. You guys can also join the Discord via the link in the description. But now let's get right into the video. Now as we can see here, the Frankish Empire is mostly controlled by France because of obvious reasons. They control 95% of France, but they still don't have their hands on Brittany as well as Corsica. And the first thing that is going to happen here is the remaining parts of France just joining the Frankish Empire, because it is literally the Frankish Empire. So there is no reason for having two Frances here. So yeah, anyways, we can see that the Frankish Empire has a lot of territory, and this might be causing a little bit of instability in the country. But because of the well-organized French government and these European countries not having a problem with each other, this empire is going to be relatively stable. But still, it is going to take them 5 to 10 years in order to stabilize the country. And in another 10 or 15 years, they're also going to be militarizing their country. They're also going to construct a good navy. So yeah. And now after all these years, we can see that the Frankish Empire finally is stable. And now they want to go on military campaigns. In order to do that, we can see that the Frankish Empire is now recruiting troops from all over the country, and it seems like they are ready for their first invasion. This invasion is going to be of the remaining parts of Italy, and now things are not looking good for Italy. Right away, we can see that the Frankish troops are now pushing into the southern parts of Italy, and they also take out Sardinia from Corsica. Here on mainland Italy, the Italians are unable to push the Frankish back, and the mainland just surrenders. And now we can see that the Franks are pushing into Sicily, who was also unable to hold off, and they also finally go ahead and surrender. And this was a decisive victory for the Frankish Empire. And in a peace negotiation, we can see that all of these parts of Italy were completely vassalized, while Sardinia is completely annexed by the Frankish Empire. But now, seeing this aggression shown by the Frankish Empire, all of the Central European countries are very worried because they don't want to get rolled over by the Frankish Empire. So yeah, in order to be a bit strong against the Frankish, we can see that Germany and Czechia unite into one country, and this isn't going to be that strong, but it will give them some protection and they won't look that vulnerable. So yeah, here in the Balkans we can see that Slovakia and Hungary unite into one country, once again to have protection against the Frankish Empire. But poor Denmark could not unite with anybody, and so this kind of happens. We can see that the Franks are now pushing into Denmark, and the Danish are unable to push the Franks back. Eventually we can see that the Franks get to Copenhagen, and the capital city falls, and with this the remaining parts of Denmark just go ahead and surrender. And later on we can see that all of Denmark got completely annexed. Oh yeah, and one more thing. Yup, just as expected, Greenland now is also a part of the Frankish Empire, which doubles the amount of land that they already had, even more than double. So yeah, good for the Frankish Empire. But once again, seeing all of the aggression shown by the Frankish Empire, unfortunately for the Frankish Empire, they're gonna have to face a coalition. And yeah, now let's take a look at this coalition. Okay, so if we take a look at this coalition, the Czecho-German Union and the Hungarian-Slovakian Union have declared war on the Frankish Empire. And a bad thing for the Frankish Empire is that they were not prepared for such a coalition. Also, I need to mention that the capital city of the Frankish Empire obviously is Paris. So yeah. But now things are not looking good for the Frankish Empire. Now because all of these other countries were prepared, they have an upper hand here. So yeah. Anyways, we can see that the Spanish are now pushing into the Frankish Empire, and they're pushing into what was previously Catalonia. Eventually, we can see that most of the Frankish troops are pushed back, and they're pushed back all the way to the modern border of Spain and France. And now the Pyrenees are blocking the Spanish from entering France. So yeah, on the eastern front we can see that the Germans now push in, and they cut off Denmark from Francia, and at the same time they start pushing in. The Slovakians and the Hungarians are also pushing in, or the Hungarian-Slovakian Union is now pushing in, but there isn't that much of progress. The Germans and the Czechs have now made it to Amsterdam, and they take the city, and they also also push up into what was previously Denmark. So yeah, this is what the front lines are looking like. But on the Spanish front lines, we can see that the Spanish are now pushing into mainland France, and they're following the coastline without facing much resistance, as the Frankish Empire still has not prepared. And eventually we can see that the Spanish were able to take all of these parts. We can see that Denmark, after getting cut off, had no other choice but to go ahead and surrender. And from here the Germans pushed down with all of their military, who are now trying to get to Paris. But it is now that we can see the Frankish Empire finally mobilizing their entire army. But still the Franks can only focus on taking out one country, and in this case that is going to be Spain, as Spain is the strongest country in the coalition. So yeah, let's see. Immediately we can see that the Spanish are now getting pushed back because the Frankish army is way better, and the Spanish are also heavily outnumbered because the Franks are currently only focusing on Spain. And just like that, the Spanish are pushed back all the way to their borders, and now we can see that the Frankish are making their own push into Spain, who is really scared right now. We can see that the Frankish navy also comes into action as they take out these islands, and we can see that they make a naval landing in the northwestern parts of Spain, and all of these areas are under the Frankish control. We can see that these troops also push in, meeting up with these troops, and thus Spain has lost all of their northern coastline. The troops down here push around, securing more and more regions, but now one army is pushing towards Madrid. But yeah, let's focus on the other front lines now. We can see that the Hungarians are still pushing in, but they are unable to push too much because of not having a very good military. But the German front line looks like this now, and they've made a lot of progress while the Frankish Empire was busy with Spain. And now we can see that they are still trying to push towards Paris, and the Germans are now dangerously close to Paris. After hearing that the Germans are pushing towards Paris, we can see that the Franks accelerate their push towards Madrid, and two armies are now pushing towards Madrid, and the Battle of Madrid ends in a decisive Frankish victory, which eventually leads Spain out of this war. And now the Frankish are sending all of their troops back here, but still we can see that the Germans are now pushing in, and they reach the gates of Paris. And unfortunately for the Frankish, they were a bit too late, as they lost all of their capital city, and now they're gonna have to negotiate with the Germans as well as the Hungarians. And yeah, let's take a look at this peace negotiation. Okay, so if we take a look at this peace negotiation, we can see that Germany got back all of their lost lands, but they are still in a union with the Czechs. But Spain lost all of these territories, but they didn't get completely annexed because of the Germans taking Paris. So yeah, we can also see that Denmark got its independence, but Greenland is still under the Frankish control. So after this humiliating defeat, the people of the Frankish Empire are very upset, and they get so upset that they start to rebel against the state. And now the Frankish Empire comes up with an idea, and that idea is, if they can win a war against any other country, their people would love them, their people would think that they are heroes, and in this case the country is going to be Croatia, who genuinely does not stand a chance against the Frankish army. But yeah, let's see. Immediately we can see that the capital city of Zagreb was taken, and yeah, the remaining parts of Croatia just go ahead and surrender. And in a peace negotiation, we can see that all of the coastline parts of Croatia were completely annexed, and because of this victory, the Frankish people are happy, and yeah, they won't rebel. So yeah, this is the Frankish Empire at its peak. And this is going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and tell me what you guys want to see in the future. And thank you for watching.